This is a 2008 Tacoma standard base model, single cab 2.7 4-cylinder motor, rear wheel drive with 160,000 miles on it. Everything's stock except the rear shocks. This video is about removing the sway bar end links and replacing the struts. Jack the truck up, took both wheels off, do your support. First thing you have to do is get the sway bar out of the way, take that off, take the end links off. You probably want to replace those bushings anyway. Just move it out of the way. And so next step you'll need to do is remove these bolts. They're little 10mm bolts. They hold the ABS line in. There's a little clip. You unclip that, move that out of the way. And there's another line, your brake line right here. You don't need to do anything. There's a bolt that holds it in. Just pull it out. So after you undo all the bolts, top and bottom, on the struts, pull the bottom strut nut out. Just remove it. It'll fall out. Use a punch, knock it out. Keep these loose, but keep the bolts on it. Then what you'll have to do is, I went and bought one of these tools, and it made it a lot easier. Now I use it on both of them. A lot of mechanics just bang on it, but this truck has 160,000 miles on it, and this is the first time I replaced any of this. So it's Toyota makes some really good parts. So I went to Harbor Freight, bought one of these, 20 bucks. They have a bunch of videos on YouTube how to use them. It works. It makes life a lot easier. I used it on both ball joints, and you just tighten it down, kind of tap around on it, tighten it down, tap around on it, and finally it just pops loose. And stay out of the way when it pops loose. It releases itself. So after I popped them loose, after you pop the ball joint loose, this arm will go up, and make sure you, before that, loosen these bolts, these two bolts right here, because you're going to have to take this off to get this strut out. There's no way to do it. You have to take the arms off. So undo them, just loosen everything. Like I said, everything's loosened. So when you do put that tool in between there and it pops up, this whole cylinder here, the brake caliper, will move this way, and it falls about halfway. So you don't have to worry about it falling down on the ground, pulling your lines or anything. You can just lay it down, and it support itself right here. And so then after that ball joint pops up, finish your undoing the bolts at the end, pull those out, take the whole control arm off, and then undo the top bolts, and this thing slides right out. It's that easy, but you have to take this thing off. I tried different ways because the shocks has arms, it holds all the support of the brakes and the ABS. It has little prongs on it, so it keeps it just enough from be able to slide it out. So, and reverse the whole process. Put your shock in first, your strut. Don't tighten anything down. Put the bolt in. The arm moves pretty well. Put this on. Put your castle nut down on the swing arm, on the ball joint. Tighten all that down. There's tons of videos on that. So, but you just reverse it. And that's what I came out of, and I bought the parts. And pretty much another thing that I really liked using, that I used quite a bit, because you're in such a weird position, is this foam pad. It's a big thick foam pad I bought from Harbor Freight, and it's a kneeling pad. And I tell you what, I've used it for a million things, because your cripping chair, you can roll it around, but sometimes it's the wrong angle and kills your back. This way you can get up underneath it, lay down on it, support you as a support. But it's probably one of the best tools too that I really like, this little foam pad. So let's take a look at the parts that I pulled out, see how much wear it is at 160,000 miles. Alright, these are the struts that I removed. And the difference between my truck and a lot of the Toyotas, they have these little supports on there. That's what you need. And that's why you can't pull them out of the arm. Then the bushings were actually good. They're in good shape. If I replaced them anyway. Then the links, they have a little beat. You can see a little rust down on there. If it would break on that lower link right there. So I replaced those. But it's not real, it's time consuming, mainly if you have the tools. It's not that hard of a job, just be patient. And expect, probably for your first timer, it's going to be a day job. And also, you lubricate all the bolts with the blaster, lubrication blaster. That stuff really works, made life a lot easier. Anyway, I hope this helps you for this one pickup. Thanks a lot.